All right. Good evening, friends. Good evening to all of you. I am Gourav Gupta, and I am once again in front of you with one of the sessions that I have promised you earlier. So, this session will be on unbeatable strategy that you can use in order to ace this examination of CMAT. Now, my dear friends, I welcome all of you to the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. So, before I start this session, let me see if I'm audible and visible to all of you. So the students who are there in this session, can you please quickly confirm if I'm audible as well as visible to all of you? Come on. So just give me a thumbs up, or you can write something in the chat box if I am audible and visible to all of you. Sweetie, hello, good evening. Yes, I can see your message. Okay. So Sweetie, can you please quickly confirm if I'm audible and visible to all of you? If there is any problem in the stream, you can tell me. All right, Kripa, you are also there. All right, audible, all good. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, friends, welcome once again to the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. And I'm here, I'm Gourav Gupta, and I'm here to basically discuss about the strategy that we all can use in order to basically score as much more as possible in the CMAT examination of 2022. I have promised that I'll be coming up with so many sessions. We will be coming up in front of you with so many sessions on CMAT. So here we are as we have promised. All right. So a lot of students have already joined. So friends, I'll quickly start this session with first of all defining the agenda of this session. So what all we'll be doing in the next half an hour or 45 minutes, whatever time we are here together. Hi Divya, good evening. Okay, so let's discuss briefly the agenda of this session. So to start with, we'll be spending around 5 to 10 minutes, not more than that, on CMAT notification and the pattern of the examination. I hope all of you must have seen the notification. So I'll not be spending a lot of time on this, as well as pattern of the examination. So you all must be equipped with the latest pattern of CMAT, right? Okay. So we'll be spending very less amount of time on these two things, and we'll quickly switch over to the most important part of this session, that is the strategy using which we should attempt CMAT examination. All right. I'll also be telling you when to apply, how to basically practice to apply this strategy. I'll be telling you each and everything related to the strategy of CMAT examination according to the new pattern. And towards the end, again, last 5 minutes we'll be spending on some of the important areas you must focus in order to ace this examination. So this will be the entire agenda for this session. Jagdish says quant में डर लग रहा है sir. Jagdish, please don't worry at all. I'll be conducting some of the sessions on quant in detail. So tomorrow I have a session on quant. Okay, so don't worry. In the upcoming days, I'll be conducting so many sessions on quant where I'll be telling you what all things you need to prepare in quant in proper detail. Okay, Jagdish, CMAT colleges पे videos बना दो. Definitely, Jagdish. One of the members of our team will definitely make a video on what all colleges are there in CMAT and which all colleges are good. Don't worry about that. We'll definitely come up with one video on that. Okay. So let's quickly start with the agenda of this session. So spending a few minutes on CMAT notification and the pattern of the examination. So all of you must have seen the notification. So this is the schedule of examination activities. So basically the forms are still open. They opened on 16th of February and they'll be open till 17th of March. So in case any one of you has not applied for CMAT examination, this is the right time. Quickly, don't wait for the last date to arrive. Okay, generally what people do is they apply for the examination in the last 1 or 2 days. At that time there is huge load on the server and they miss the deadline. So please don't be the person who will be suffering because of the load on the server. So it's 1st of March, you have time, just quickly apply for this examination. Obviously we'll have to take this examination. All right. So this is the important date. Don't look at the last date. Apply it as soon as possible. All right. Now corrections in particulars of application form on the website. So you can make corrections starting from 19th to 21st of March. But this should not be required. I hope all of you are careful enough. All of you are mature enough that you'll be taking this form very seriously and not committing any mistake, at least in filling this form. Okay. So make sure that you're not committing any mistake in filling up this form. Now, downloading of admit cards and the date of examination is still not announced. So let's wait for that. But what I believe is the date of this examination will be somewhere around 3rd April or 10th of April. Okay, so in the first or second week of April, I am expecting this examination to happen. So starting from now, we have a little bit more than a month in which we can do a lot of things in order to score good in this examination. All right. Okay. So now a lot of questions. So people, please hold on your horses. Please wait. I'll be definitely answering to all these things. So first of all, let me finish this session. Okay. And towards the end, I'll keep 5 minutes for the question and answers. Okay. So in case you have any kind of query about the things which I have not covered in this section, okay, so you can ask these questions in the last 5 to 10 minutes. All right. Okay, so first of all, let me just go ahead with this session. I'll be throwing some light on each and every section of this examination: general awareness, innovation and entrepreneurship. Don't worry about that. And we will be conducting detailed sessions on these sections as well. Okay. Fine. So these are some important dates that you need to understand. Now the duration of the examination is 180 minutes and the examination will happen in 2 shifts. So there is a morning shift and there is an afternoon shift. So in both shifts, 180 minutes, that is 3 hours, 9 to 12 and 3 to 6. The mode of the examination, the language of the examination will be English. And these are the 2 important websites that you can follow in order to get the latest notifications. All right. Okay. Now moving further, this is the fees that we'll have to pay. I thought this is an important thing. So for general category, male 2000 and for female it is 1000. And for all the other remaining categories, the fees for the examination is 1000 rupees. Okay. Now moving on to the pattern of this examination. So this exam will be a 3-hour entrance examination. The format of this examination will be a computer-based test. This is not a computer adaptive test. This is a computer-based test. So the level of difficulty of question will be fixed before you will start the examination, and you will be tested across 5 different sections: quant and data interpretation being the first section, logical reasoning, then language comprehension, general awareness, and innovation and entrepreneurship. Okay, so these will be the 5 sections in which you will be tested. Now looking at the details, the pattern of the examination. So these are the 5 sections that you can see on your screen. Okay, now we have 20 questions from QT and DI section, quantitative techniques and data interpretation section, each question having 4 marks. So the maximum marks for this particular section is 80. The same thing is for the other 4 sections: logical reasoning 20 questions, language comprehension 20 questions, general awareness 20 questions, and innovation and entrepreneurship again 20 questions. All right, so that means a total of 100 questions has to be attempted in a total of 180 minutes, and the maximum marks for this entire paper will be 400. Okay, now unlike last year, innovation and entrepreneurship section is now mandatory, and whatever you will score in this section will contribute to your overall percentile. So earlier this section was an optional section, and you attempt this section or not, this will not affect your overall percentile. This used to be what happened last year, but this year this section is among these 100 questions which will be marked, all right, and will decide your percentile. Okay. Jagdish, I am not expecting such kind of comments from you. Okay, so just show your maturity. Okay, just because we are male we should pay 1,000 rupees extra. What a sexist word. No, this is not. So they must have taken this decision based on a lot of parameters. Okay, so please don't write such type of comments on social media. Okay, fine. Now the syllabus of this examination will be as per prescribed by AICTE, and we all know about the syllabus of this examination. Just the syllabus of general awareness and innovation in entrepreneurship. General awareness, we never know what will be the syllabus. Okay, just joking. And innovation and entrepreneurship, this section is new to a lot of students. So definitely I'll be throwing some light on innovation and entrepreneurship as well in this section. Thank you, Jagdish. Thank you very much. Okay, now medium of this paper, as we already know, it is English. Now let's move ahead and look at some more things about the marking scheme of this examination. So each question will carry 4 marks. Okay, now each correct response, a student will get 4 marks. For each incorrect response, -1. So that means 1 mark will be deducted from the total score. Unattempted or unanswered will not be given any marks, so nothing for that. Okay, now next is, to answer a question the candidates needs to choose only one option, so make sure that only one option is correct. All right, now point number 6 and point number 7, they are in case there are some discrepancies in any question or there is any ambiguity as far as the answer keys are concerned. So right now we'll not be looking at point number 6 and point number 7. They will come into play after the examination is conducted. All right, so basically अगर कोई question गलत आ जाता है या फिर answer keys गलत हो जाती है, then these 2 pointers will be useful. Okay, fine. Now moving ahead and looking at the eligibility criteria. So a candidate must hold a bachelor's degree. In case you are in the final year right now, if like students are in final year and they'll be finishing up their graduation this year, they are also eligible to take this examination. All right. Second criteria is you must be a citizen of India. Yes, we all are. And there is no age restriction. So you are 18-year-old or 19-year-old or 24-year-old. There is no age restriction for appearing in CMAT examination. So you are in final year of your graduation. You have done your graduation. You are eligible. Okay. You should be a citizen of India and your age can be any number. All right, so these are certain eligibility criteria for this examination, right? Okay, so this was all about the notification and pattern of the examination. Okay, now one of the most important thing that I saw on the official website when I was going through the entire notification of CMAT, this is one wonderful thing that they have done. So they have basically made some test practice centers that they call TPCs, test practice centers. So basically the students who don't have access to the laptops or the computers, who are watching my session using their cell phones and they don't have access to laptops or computers to practice for these tests, so the Ministry of HRD has mandated these NTAs, that is mandated the NTA, National Testing Agency, and they have established some of the test practice centers. Now these facilities are completely free of cost, so nothing will be charged to you. Now candidates can register online on the website of NTA, where they are provided a convenient test practice center near to their location to practice on a given computer. So in case आपके पास laptop नहीं है, computer नहीं है, you cannot practice for this test, so you can register on the website of NTA and walk to these TPCs where you can sit and practice for this test. Okay, so the entire environment will be same as that of the test center. The user interface, everything will be exactly the same. The virtual keyboard, the numeric keyboard, everything, all the instructions that you'll be following, scrolling down to the next question, navigating between the questions, review and edit options, and submit questions. So all these facilities will be there. Okay. Yes, Jagdish, exactly. So all these things will be provided by NTA. So good that you have asked. So these will be the test practice centers where they will replicate the entire environment that you will be getting in the actual examination. All right, fine. So in case you don't have access to the computers or the laptops, it's better to register on the website of NTAs and you can go and have some practice of these computer based tests. All right, okay. Now let's move on to the most important part of this session. All of you must be waiting for the strategy for CMAT 2022. Okay, now in front of you on the screen, you can see all the 5 sections having 20 questions each. Okay, and the total time limit that is given to us for this examination is 180 minutes. So we can say that as compared to the other examinations, we are given more than enough time so that we can finish this examination. Yes, I am serious. If you know each and everything in this examination, if you know the answers of each and every question in this examination, you have enough time that you can do 100% of the questions. Out of these 100 questions, yes, you can at least finish 90 to 95 questions in these 180 minutes. But we'll have to understand what strategy we'll have to implement in order to maximize our attempts. Okay. Now make sure that this examination has negative marking also. Okay, so let's start this paper. So if I am at your place, what I'll do is I'll start this paper with general awareness section. So this will be the first section I'll be attempting. There are 20 questions and you will not take, or you should not take, more than 10 minutes to finish this section. Okay, generally people should be able to finish this section in 7 to 8 minutes because the questions are not very lengthy. Okay, and if you know the answer, you can mark the answer. If you don't know the answer, there is nothing you can calculate, there is nothing you can recall. Okay, so know the answer, mark it. Don't know the answer, go ahead and go to the next question. So maximum 10 minutes should be allotted to this section of general awareness number 1. Okay, yes Jagdish, I'm coming to that. Now second, I'll go to this section, innovation and entrepreneurship. Now if you have seen the session that was taken by Pranav Pant sir, okay, yesterday there is a session that was conducted by Pranav sir, okay, on innovation and entrepreneurship, where he has discussed about the type of question that came in innovation and entrepreneurship section in the last year. Now there were some questions which were from general awareness. Okay, general awareness, static GK was also there. There were some questions on current affairs as well, but there were some questions on comprehension as well. Okay, I don't know what will be there in front of you when it comes to CMAT 2022, but I think that this section will be a little lengthier as compared to general awareness section. All right, so these 20 questions, it might be possible that you will have to read a lot of things in this section. Okay, so that is why I'll basically allocate around 25 to 30 minutes to this section. This section is also new, so you will have to be a little careful when you are reading the comprehension or when you are reading the questions from this section. Okay, so around 25 to 30 minutes. You can finish this section in less than this much amount of time. It's well and good, but somewhere in the range of 25 to 30 minutes will be the ideal time that we can give to this section. All right, now we are done with 2 sections, and we know that, we understand that whatever we knew in these sections we have already attempted. So that means we are not going to come back to these 2 sections. So these 2 sections are over for the day for us. All right, so 10 minutes and a maximum of 30 minutes in this. So that means a total of 40 minutes are already elapsed and we are done with these 2 sections. Now we are left with 3 sections: quant DI, logical reasoning and language comprehension. Now these 3 sections now can be attempted. These 3 sections now can be attempted in any order as per your convenience, as per your choice. Okay, I'll not decide the order in which you should be attempting these sections, so you can decide whichever way you feel comfortable. If you are already in the mode in which you have taken CAT examination, so you can start with language comprehension, that is, this is number 3, then go to this one, number 4, and then at the end you can attempt quant and DI section. Okay, or whichever way you want, you can attempt these 3 sections. I'll repeat this again. I'm not specifying any particular order in which you should attempt these 3 sections. Okay, but the most important thing is, to each of these 20 questions, to each of these sections, you should be giving 35 minutes. So what I'm doing is, I'm not dividing the remaining time in 3 sections equally. As usual, any of the examination in which we don't have sectional time limits, I always keep some buffer time towards the end of the paper. Okay, so that in this buffer time, I can come back to the sections in which I can maximize my number of attempts. Okay, so for each of these sections, I'll be giving approximately 35 minutes each. So 35 minutes to quant and DI, 35 minutes to logical reasoning, and 35 minutes to language comprehension. All right. So this is 105 minutes in total. All right. Now I am done with a total of 145 minutes. And out of 180 minutes, I'm still left with 35 minutes. Okay. Now I have properly seen these 3 sections. So now these remaining 35 minutes can be spent either equally among the 3 sections or as per your choice. So if you feel that there are still some questions left in quant section, you can go back to the quant section and attempt these remaining questions. If you think that there is an easy set of questions which you have left in logical reasoning, go ahead and attempt that. If you have left one reading comprehension in language comprehension section, go ahead and attempt that. So now you can customize yourself and decide how to divide, how to spend these 35 minutes. Now, this buffer time is very, very important. Basically, like I have lots of examples using which I can prove that in these 35 minutes, हमारा दिमाग बहुत ज़्यादा चलता है. Okay, so our brain functions at a higher pace, at a better pace, and in these last buffer minutes, 20 or 25 minutes, whatever time you are leaving for the end of the examination, you will be able to basically maximize the number of attempts. People have applied the same technique in testnet, people have applied the same technique in plenty of examinations, and none other than my students. My students have only told me that this particular technique has helped them in maximizing the number of attempts. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just quickly brief you whatever we have discussed in last 10 minutes. So I'll start with general awareness. We'll spend 10 minutes, finish this section. Then we'll go to innovation and entrepreneurship section. We'll spend 25 to 30 minutes. We'll finish this section. Okay, jitna attempt kar sakte ho, utna attempt karo. Don't mark any flukes. Now we are done with around 40 minutes. Okay, and we are not going to come back on these 2 sections. Now the remaining 3 sections, you can attempt them in any order, spending 35 minutes each on these sections. So it's not hard and fast. It can be plus minus 2 minutes. Okay, so 33 to 37 minutes you can spend on each of these sections. And after a total of 145 minutes are over, you're still left with 35 minutes as buffer time. And in these 35 minutes, now you can divide these 35 minutes in order to maximize the overall score. All right, so this will be the entire strategy using which you can maximize and increase your score. All right, but my dear friends, make sure that you are not applying this strategy in your examination directly. Okay, so listen to me now. Now what happens with a lot of students, they have seen this session and they directly go and apply this strategy at the time of the examination without practicing this strategy on mock papers. Now, time starting from now up till the examination date. Now, whatever time we have 20 days or we have 25 days or we have 30 days, whatever time we have. will have to practice this strategy. Then only we'll be able to apply this strategy in a foolproof mode. Okay, then only we'll be able to make out 100% of this strategy. All right. So let me give you a small schedule using which you can practice this strategy. But first of all, let us understand what this grid is. Now, this is basically how the question palette will be displayed on the right hand side of the screen. Okay, and it will show the status of each question using one of the following text colors or codes. Now, this is very important whenever you are applying these strategies. Okay, so let's understand this particular portion as well. So if the color of the question palette is like this, the question is not viewed. Green says it is attempted. Red says that the question is not attempted, but I have viewed this question. And green, and over that there is a star mark. So it is question answered, and we have marked the question for review. And the last one, question is not attempted, but I have viewed this question and I have marked the question for the review. Now, you have to make maximum of these two things. The last two symbols. Mark for review, question attempted. Mark for review, question not attempted. Now, how you can make a use of this? Okay, let's go back to the previous screen. Now, basically what I have done is I have kept 30 to 35 minutes as a buffer time towards the end of this section, right? I've kept 30 minutes. Now, while you are attempting these three sections, let's say you encountered a question which you think that it's a bit lengthy and it is not good for you, not advisable for you to attempt it right now, but the question is easy. Okay, there is a huge difference between this thing. An easy question can be lengthy as well. So it is not advisable to attempt a lengthy question in the examination. All right. So the question is easy. You know that you are confident that you will be able to do this question, but definitely not right now. So what you can do is you can leave that question and you can mark that question for review. That means in those 30 minutes of buffer time, you don't have to search for those questions which you will have to come back and attempt later on. Okay, so whatever lengthy questions, whatever difficult questions that you believe can be attempted towards the end of the examination, you can mark all those questions for the review. Okay, later on in those 30 minutes, you can just go back to only those questions because they are already selected, and you will be saving plenty of time in doing that. You don't have to go to each and every question and look for it if you have to attempt it or not. Okay, now this basically makes a difference between a 95 percentiler and 99 percentiler. Okay, so if you want to be in the range of 99 percentile, try to practice these techniques, try to practice these small things which will save 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and which will make way for you to attempt one more question in the examination. All right. Okay. Now moving ahead, let's look at some of the important areas. But before that, like I said, I'll give you a small schedule. So right now we don't have the examination date in hand. Okay, so we cannot plan our mock test series. We must be having so many mock papers to take. Okay, so let's say you have planned to take 5 to 7 mock papers before the examination. Now, definitely the dates will be out in the next 7 to 10 days. Okay, and let's assume that the date is 3rd of April. Okay, let's assume, or let's say the date is X. All right, instead of 3rd of April, don't assume this date as the date of the examination. Let's say the date of the examination is X. Okay, now the schedule of your mock papers should be X minus 3. So let's say you have examination on 10th of April. Okay, so X minus 3, 10 minus 3, that is 7. So last mock should be taken on X minus 3 date, then X minus 5, then X minus 7, X minus 9, X minus 11, and so on. So these are the dates on which you can plan your mock papers. I hope you have understood this thing. All right. So I hope you have understood this thing, right? So whatever date is the examination, last mock should be 3 days before the actual date, and at the gap of two days each, you can plan your mock papers. All right. Now, in each of these mock papers, try to attempt these mock papers using the strategy that we have discussed, or whatever strategy that you have made for yourself. Try to implement these strategies, and immediately after the examination, go for a detailed analysis of each and every mock. Okay, a mock is always incomplete without the analysis. So अगर आप mock के बाद analysis नहीं कर रहे हो, so there is no use of taking that mock examination. All right, so once the mock paper is over, now sit and do the proper analysis. Now look at the questions which you have not attempted, number one. Number two, look at the questions which you have attempted wrongly. So what mistake you have done? Have you made a calculation error? Have you made a conceptual error? Have you used a wrong formula? Try to basically reason out basically the reason, what is the reason behind your mistake. Okay. Now, thirdly, look at the questions which you have attempted correctly also. Don't be happy with the questions, like with the number of questions you have attempted correctly. So look at these questions as well and understand, have you used the most efficient way of doing that question? So let's say there is a question which could have been finished in 30 seconds and you have taken 1 minute to do that question. So that is also not a good thing. Okay, so look at some of the questions which you feel you could have taken less amount of time in doing those questions. Okay, now finally, look at the overall strategy that you have used. Have you wasted any time on some easy questions? Have you wasted on like some of the time on some difficult questions which you should not have seen in the first attempt? Okay, so try to reason out each and everything and try to extract 3 minutes, 4 minutes, some amount of time which you can save in the next mock, and then set a small target, set a next target for your next mock paper and try to achieve that target. Okay, so if you're following all these things, then you will be improving gradually with these mock papers. All right. Okay, now let's move on to the final the final agenda of this session. The most important areas, or the important areas that we need to focus in each of these sections. Now in quant, in the first section, quantitative aptitude and data interpretation. So these are the areas that you need to focus on. So first of all, the entire arithmetic. So I have written these areas in the order of the number of questions that we generally find in the examination. Okay, so arithmetic, yes, majority of the questions were from arithmetic the last year. Out of 25, we have seen around 12 to 13 questions. So around 50% of the examination was from arithmetic. So in arithmetic, percentages and its applications, ratios, mixtures, allegations, time, speed, distance, and time and work. So arithmetic is the most important area for quant. Next is algebra. There were 2 or 3 questions from algebra as well. Next, all these have equal priority. So 1 or 2 questions you can find from each of these areas. So this year I'm expecting around 8 to 9 questions from arithmetic, 2 questions from algebra, and 1 or 2 questions from each of these topics. All right, fine. Modern maths, we have permutation, combination, and probability. So maybe 1 or 2 questions from PNC and probability you will find in the examination. Okay. Now moving on to the next section, logical reasoning. Now this is verbal reasoning on the right hand side, and this is non-verbal reasoning, or you can say abstract reasoning, analytical reasoning. So over the years, like I have seen the examination of last 5 to 6 years. Okay, so over the years, I could see that these are some of the important areas that you all must cover. Okay, because each of these areas are equal probable to come in the examination. Okay, so must focus on these areas as well. Last year, there were 4 questions that we could find on logical consistency. Okay, so logical consistency or verbal reasoning as a whole is one very important area. Okay. Now, next is language comprehension. So last year, if I correctly remember, around 14 questions out of 25 were there on reasoning. Were there on reading comprehension. Yes, 14 out of 25. So there were 4 RC passages. There were 2 RC passages having 3 questions, and there were 2 RC passages having 4 questions each. So in all, there were 14 questions. Now this year, since the number of questions is 20 only, so we can expect around 10 questions from RC. Then the areas like sentence correction, finding error in a sentence, vocabulary based questions on antonyms and synonyms, fill in the blanks, idioms and phrases, usage of foreign words or parajumbles. So you can expect 2 or 3 questions from each of these areas. All right. Now, finally, moving to innovation and entrepreneurship. So, I would suggest all of you to watch wonderful session that was taken by Pranav Pant sir yesterday. And in that session, he has discussed each and everything in detail about innovation and entrepreneurship. All right. So please go to this session and look at it. All right. Now, the areas that you must focus on, like in this section, innovation and entrepreneurship. So I have given the areas. So you can just read the details of innovation and entrepreneurship. There is also wonderful book that you can buy from the market. This is a book on innovation and entrepreneurship by Peter K. Drucker. Peter K. Drucker or Peter F. Drucker, but you will Google it and you will easily find this book. Okay, you can order it and just give 6 to 7 hours on reading this book, and you will be able to like solve most of the questions on this area. Jagdish is asking where to practice analogies. Now, Jagdish, you can buy any study material, or there will be study material that must be provided to you by any of the coaching institutes where you are studying. So analogies you will find everywhere. So analogies can be of 2 types. It can be in verbal as well as non-verbal analogies. Okay, fine. Now, finally, moving to the last section, areas to be focused in general awareness. So on the left hand side, you will see the current affairs. So these are current affairs. All right. And on the right hand side, this is static GK. Okay, so these are some areas that you can focus on each of these 2 things. So current affairs, definitely whatever has happened nationally or internationally in the last 6 to 9 months, sports events, developments in science and technologies, awards which have been given, okay, something which has happened in business world, takeovers, mergers and acquisitions, and about the Indian economy. For static GK, you can read Indian polity, history, geography, some books and authors, important days and dates, brands, and art and culture. So these are some things that you can go for general awareness section. But make sure that you are restricting when it comes to current affairs, restrict yourself to the current affairs of last 6 to 9 months. All right. Okay. So friends, that is all from my side. Now, in case you have any kind of question, feel free to ask, feel free to post your question. Now, Vidhi, you are asking about the target score. Your target score should be like, in case you are looking at top 2 or top 3 colleges, your target score should be somewhere around 325, but not starting from the first mock. So in the first mock, try to do as much good as possible. Okay, and gradually with that you can increase your score. But the ultimate target, in case you are targeting top 2 or top 3 colleges, it should be certainly more than 300. Nivedita, how is that book by Arvind Kumar Bhatt on innovation and entrepreneurship? Nivedita, frankly, I have not read that book, but uh, I have heard that these 2 books, Arvind Kumar Bhatt, this is one of the books that I have suggested in one of my previous sessions also. So yes, Arvind Kumar Bhatt and the book by Peter Drucker, both the books are equally good. So you can go ahead and buy this book from Arvind Kumar Bhatt as well, because I have also suggested this book in one of my previous sessions. Jagdish, yes sir, agreed, but can we get some pool of Yes, Jagdish. So, Jagdish, definitely you'll be getting some of the questions from analogies. But right now, like frankly, I'm a QA faculty, I'm a quant faculty, so I'll not be able to help you much on this. But definitely, we at BYJU'S Exam Prep will be definitely conducting some of the sessions on language comprehension, where we'll be teaching, where we'll be giving, where we'll be throwing some light on analogies as well. Uh, Jagdish, V School is one of the good names, like 2.6 LPA. I think this is not the current average pay package of V School. It must be more than that, right? सर जनरल अवेयरनेस एंड करंट अफेयर्स पे फोकस करें या स्टैटिक जीके पर ओके नाउ मिहिर if I look at the distribution of current affairs and static gk it has been like almost equal. So I would recommend you to basically focus on both these things. You have at least 1 month to go before the examination, so yes, you can manage both these things. Star Willy, you are saying that not able to purchase CMAT mocks from BYJU'S app. Okay, so Star Willy, what you can do is uh, I'm just leaving behind my number. You can drop me a WhatsApp. I'll see if I can help you. Okay, so please, you can take this number. This is my personal number. All right. I generally don't give my number to the students on a social media platform, but the examination is very important for all of you. So you can take down my number, you can WhatsApp me, and I'll see if I can help you. All right. Now, friends, if you have liked this session, please just quickly hit the like button right now. Do comment something in the comment section. Share this session with your friends and do subscribe our channel in case you don't want to miss any of the notifications, any of the sessions that we'll be conducting in future. All right. Still people have some. Sir, hospital administration किस किस college में है? Kirti will be conducting a session where we'll be telling you the details about different colleges. NL Dalmia versus NIBM. I'll go with the first, like this is my general preference. So NIBM, then V School, and then NL Dalmia. All right. Now for JB, you need to score more than 325 at any cost. Okay, though the cutoff of any of the examination cannot be decided before the examination, but certainly looking at this examination, JBIMS, the best college in CMAT, you need at least 325 marks. Yes, Kripa, you can use Arihant Publications book for quant. Okay, and definitely. So, if in case you are unable to understand any of the concepts, so please watch some of the videos. Okay, join any of the programs that we have been offering. Okay, and you will be able to uh, have a proper knowledge on simple and compound interest and permutation combination. Now, Starvili, there is a number that one of our team members has left in the chat box. Okay, so you can call on that number. You can look at the chat box. You can call on that number, and you can get the complete details about the entire program. All right. Okay. So friends, that's it from my side. Please do like this session. In case any one of you like has taken some of the examination and is expecting some of the calls from different colleges, I am sure that you must be looking for some of the wonderful GDPR program for your preparation. So this is one program that we have started at BYJU'S Exam Prep, and the entire details are mentioned on the screen. The number is there at the bottom of the screen. You can call on this number in order to fetch some other details about this plan. Now, those who want to join any of the CAT 2022 batches, So the complete course batch number 5 is there on the offering, and the complete details are mentioned on the screen. Again, you can call at the number which is given at the bottom of the screen in order to gain some of the important relevant information about this program. So friend, that's all from my side. I hope you would have liked this session. Please do wait for me for some other sessions. I'll be definitely coming in front of you with plenty of sessions on CMAT. Our team is preparing, is making some of the wonderful sessions on each and every section that will be covered in CMAT. So wait and watch. All the best.